Hello, Horn Lake. We are here today with another Choose a Career segment, and I am visited today by...
I am Billy Massey with Fedex Freight, Talent Acquisition Specialist.
All right, now FedEx has lots of different divisions, so if you could quickly touch on that before we go any further.
Absolutely. So I kind of have all these little fun visuals for you guys.
Perfect.
But this gives you a good idea. So FedEx is one great big giant corporation. It has many, many different branches. And a lot of people don't know this, but each of us are all independent. So imagine FedEx Corporation as a big giant umbrella, and then you've got all three of these branches that come off, which are ground, express, and freight. Of course, I'm with freight. Then, of course, off the other side, you've got FedEx Services. Those are guys like IT and our corporate roles. Then off of there, you have their logistics and FedEx office. So while we are all FedEx, we are all independent operators. So we don't work together as one solid team. Multiple teams together to make the thing work.
Let me ask you a follow question to that then.
Okay.
When the average customer goes to ship something, do we just end up at FedEx Corporation and then y'all decide which carrier is going to be appropriate for the job that we are actually hiring, or do we end up sending through each of these individual ones?
Usually it goes to each one individually, because if you're shipping ground, if you're going to ship ground, or if you decide you want express because it's faster. Freight is a totally different thing, right? So when you look at ground and express, those guys handle parcels and packages, right?
Right.
Versus us, we are the big boys. So 99% of what we haul is palletized, and it's just great big pallets of freight. So those are usually where we compete with companies like Old Dominion, Estes, places like that. Other freight companies that are LTLs or lighter than or less than truckloads.
So you all end up going out and bidding for some of those large companies to do their freight for them.
Yes, absolutely. Or of course we have salespeople that go out to businesses and sell our services, and we'll contract with them, and they'll agree to contract and use just our services. So
okay, awesome. Now for high school students who might be interested in a career that they're not aware of with FedEx, why don't you tell the students some of the options that y'all have?
We actually have a lot of options when you're looking at FedEx Freight, there's a lot of different things. So this is going to be too small for you guys to read, but it does list off all our positions and the different roles that we have. But when you're looking at your high school age, we hire starting at 18. And the options we would have available for those guys would be freight handlers.
Right.
Those guys basically work the dock. They're driving forklifts, moving freight from a trailer onto the dock, and from the dock onto trailers, and loading trucks to get out onto the roads to the customers. And you can do that part-time or full-time. We also have a service center support role, which is basically like a customer service. It's a clerical position where they do billing and customer service. Those guys you can also do full-time or part-time. Those are mainly the ones that are available for that type of age range at 18. Right. Once you get in as a freight handler, though, you can move up into what we call our apprentice program, where you become a driver apprentice, where you could be a road driver or a city driver. From there, you're making the same pay you're making as a freight handler, but you're learning how to drive a truck, and then we help you get your CDLs, all your endorsements, triples, tandems, everything. So from there, you can have a CDL and drive over the road at that point.
Okay, so y'all have an apprenticeship for driving, which
Absolutely.
I didn't even realize that.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
We do.
For people who might be interested in working for FedEx, tell us about the pay scale, because that's one of the first things that students are going to wonder.
Absolutely. So, and I got to tell you, there's, and the pay scale varies depending on what market level you're in, sure. Right? So depending on what area you live in can depend on your market level. So there's a B market and a C market in our Memphis districts. We have centers, the closest centers we have here are Grenada, and of course Memphis. We have 2 centers in Memphis, 1 in West Memphis. And any of those positions, you can start out as a freight handler at, from part-time, you can start out anywhere from $18.44 to $19.36 an hour.
Okay.
Full-time, you can come in at $22.34 to $23.47 an hour. Okay. And of course, in those positions, your benefits eligible.
Right.
So you've got all your medical, dental, vision, 401k, all of that great stuff too. Service center support, part-time, $16.77 to $17.60 an hour. And then, of course, your full-time is $19.76 to $20.75 an hour. And those are typically Monday through Friday, positions. Sometimes there is an evening position for both of those positions. But if you're looking at, being in school at 18, if you decide you want to go to college, that's a great thing too. You can work part-time at night as a freight handler, go to school during the day, and FedEx Freight offers tuition reimbursement, so we'll actually help pay for your school.
And we actually had a teacher here at the school who talked about that, made good money. He said he made good money doing college, working FedEx at night.
Absolutely.
So, obviously you can, FedEx sets you up well to move up in the company.
Always. It's one of our biggest policies, actually, and that we take pride in, is that we always promote from within. A lot of people don't know when we post our jobs online, they're posted for 7 days just so that internally, so that all of our employees across all opcos, freight, ground, express, all of those can apply internally, and they get first dibs on those positions over an outside candidate. So, yes, sometimes we don't get the internal candidates. Sometimes we do. It depends on the role.
Right.
But there's always that opportunity. If you can at least get in as a part-time freight handler, the sky's the limit. You can be anything, anywhere you want with FedEx.
Now, with FedEx, also, you have the ability to relocate if you want to move somewhere else, because FedEx is all over the world.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
So, perfect example. I'm a talent acquisition specialist, right? I decide I want to get my CDL. So I go to driving school and I get my CDL on the side on my own. And I'm like, you know what? It is my dream to live by the beach. I want to go to California. Guess what? Here's my internal career postings that come out twice a week. There's a job available as a driver in California. I can apply for that job, whether it be freight, ground, or express, and I can transfer with the company to California in that role and still work with FedEx Freight and go anywhere I want. And that can go for anywhere around the world.
About to say, y'all are all over the world.
Everywhere.
So.
I think the most important thing that these guys can know is that some kids, they don't know what they want to be when they grow up right out of school, and they just might want to take a break. So take a break and take a job here with FedEx Freight and get to learn. It gives you so much knowledge and skills, and you never know. This is the type of position that is the difference between a job and a career. Because like I said, you can go from a freight handler to an accountant or to a cybersecurity analyst, anywhere within the company doing anything you want. All you have to do is put your mind to it and let them know that you want it. Work hard. Let them know what your goal is, and they'll help you get there. So.
Awesome. Well, if y'all are interested in taking a job with FedEx or looking at FedEx as a career, obviously you can visit our career coach, Ms. Hennessy, or you can contact Billy here and see about a job at FedEx.
Because you can apply by phone or online.